thinking about human life. Our lives rush forward, our existence is small and fragile. Time passes as quickly as a breeze brushing past the window. Yesterday we may have laughed together, but today we have gone our separate ways. Old friends drift apart, old stories fade, and with just the blink of an eye, we look around and realize very few people remain beside us. Time waits for no one. One morning we look in the mirror and see strands of grey hair. This worldly life is no different from a fleeting dream. People often assume that a human life simply runs from birth to aging, sickness, and death, then it ends. If life were that simple, then it would hardly be worth living. That is why the Stoic perspective looks deeper, seeing that within our existence lies something more profound, something interconnected, something that ancient teachings describe as a world formed by dependent conditions. When the Stoics teach that human life, birth, aging, sickness, and death is suffering, most people feel tired of living, believing life is only about enduring suffering until death. Because of this, many leave behind their homes, careers, and families to live a disciplined and mindful life. Even though they detach from worldly life, they still must eat, sleep, and rest. However, practitioners reduce their dependence on these things, and from that simplicity they discover liberation. This is the first principle the Stoics taught in the teachings. It is said that because people grow weary of suffering through birth, aging, sickness, and death, the path of liberation nirvana is shown as a way out. This teaching begins with the Four Noble Truths for unchanging truths that open the doorway to a meaningful life. From these truths emerge two paths, a life of suffering or a life of peace. The suffering life and the peaceful life both arise from our own choices. If one chooses the upward path, it leads toward heaven or nirvana. If one chooses the downward path, it leads toward misery. The Stoic teaching is that whether life becomes suffering or joy depends entirely on us. This idea stood in direct contrast to the ancient Indian belief that suffering or joy was decided solely by a God who rewarded or punished at will. But the Stoic teaching rejects this, saying that each person determines their own destiny. One should never hand their fate to an unknown being. A Stoic once asked a Brahmin, "Do you see or know this God you believe in?" The man said he did not. "Then why do you believe?" The man answered, "Because my father, grandfather, and ancestors all said he exists." The Stoic replied, "Do not believe something merely because many people before you believed it. If something does not make sense, do not believe it. Even if it seems reasonable, test it in your life. If it does not prove true, let it go. Never follow blindly." During his journey spreading wisdom, a Stoic encountered a man who said his country taught him to bow to the 6 directions every morning. The Stoic advised him not to follow tradition blindly, but to examine it. Why do we bow? What meaning does it serve? What benefit does it bring? Everything handed down by past generations must be understood, not simply repeated. And even Stoic teachings must be applied and tested in one's own life. The Stoics teach that every human life contains suffering. No one escapes it. Rich or poor, young or old, everyone suffers. If life is full of suffering, who causes it? And who can end it? If a God created us, then ask that God to take away our suffering. But according to Stoic wisdom, we are the ones who create our own suffering, and therefore we must be the ones to free ourselves from it. People fear suffering, yet constantly create the causes of suffering. Everyone wants peace, but few ever create the causes of peace. If you create the causes of peace, even if you do not chase peace, it will come. But if you create causes of suffering, suffering will surely arrive. The first step is recognizing suffering and its causes. But this only explains the suffering in this present life. The deeper cause lies even before birth, what we carried from the past, what choices led us here. Thus we must recognize the present causes and transform them. This is the practice of understanding our attachments and walking the path of liberation. Suffering arises largely from desire. When desire is unfulfilled, suffering appears. People commonly crave wealth, status, and fame, the 3 most basic desires. But these desires only intensify suffering. No matter how high the position or how much money is accumulated, The suffering remains and grows when a person reaches the final days of life, when nothing can save their body anymore. What meaning does wealth hold? What value does fame have? Nothing. In the eyes of someone preparing to leave this world, status, wealth, and ambition become meaningless. Health is truly number one. Without health, status, luxury, cars, houses, all are empty illusions. Remember, a luxury phone, 70% of its features go unused. A luxury car, 70% of its speed is unnecessary. A giant villa, 70% of its space remains empty. Much of life, 70% is noise, distraction, or illusion. A lifetime of working may result in 70% of what you earn being left for others to spend. So, live simply. Enjoy life. Keep the 30% that truly belongs to you. That is where happiness lives. Human life is like a match divided into two halves. The first half is education, ambition, position, promotions. The second half is blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, illness, loneliness, anxiety. The first half is striving. The second half is learning to let go. Why is human life so tiring? Because even with no illness, we must care for our health. Even without conflict, we must stay calm. Even with trouble, we must find perspective. Even when right, we must sometimes yield. Even with power, we must remain humble. Even when not tired, we must rest. Even when not rich, we must learn contentment. When facing sadness, disappointment, or loss, remember, life is something we must overcome only once. We arrive with empty hands and we leave with empty hands, bringing neither a grain of sand nor a cloud with us. Thank you for listening. May you receive positive energy and live a peaceful life. Closing section, Stoicism Philosophy Daily. Stoicism Philosophy Daily. We explore timeless wisdom that helps you understand yourself, conquer inner suffering, and live with calm strength. Each lesson encourages reflection, resilience, and a deeper awareness of what truly matters. We hope this message brings clarity and peace into your journey.